Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's why it's so crucial that you truly understand exactly what you can expect along the process. So in this video here, I'll be explaining the complete home buying process from start to finish so you know exactly what you can expect. So you're looking to purchase a home, but not sure exactly what you can expect, or even for that matter, where to even start. So in this video here, I try to break down the complete home buying process into 3 stages with 3 steps each so that you have a general overview of what you can expect regardless of where you're looking to buy your property, what type of property that is, or even what market it is, whether it's a buyer or seller's market. Now, with that said, I'd still highly recommend you speak with a professional that can understand your personal circumstance so they can create an action plan for you moving forward that's specifically tailored to you. And if you're in the Greater Toronto area wanting to speak with a professional to learn more about what you can expect for your own personal home buying journey, you can feel free to book a call with me. You can find the link in the description or just shoot me a message on Instagram. I'd be happy to help you out and create a home buying plan regardless of if you choose to work with me or just go about your own way so that you can be best prepared. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a realtor in the GTA, and this is my channel where I share everything I've learned around real estate, finance, and personal development, helping empower you to make the best decisions possible. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss out on any one of my future videos. Other than that, let's just hop on in to the very first stage, the preparation stage. Now you can probably guess what this first stage is all about, which is preparing you to purchase your home. So the very first step in this stage here is to understand what your needs, wants are, as well as if you have any deal breakers. Because at the end of the day, when you purchase a home, you're purchasing it to increase the quality of your life. So you want to make sure that property matches and aligns with the lifestyle you want to live. So how many baths do you want? How many bedrooms do you want? What type of lifestyle do you want? Do you want walking out, enjoying the downtown core, or do you want to be able to relax in your backyard in the suburbs? Depending on what your needs and wants are will really shape where you're going to be looking for that property. Not only will this help ensure that that property matches the desired quality of life you want to have, but it will also help your realtor find properties that match that criteria. So make sure to not skip this step here. Now, the second step on the preparation phase is to understand and get prepared financially. And there's a couple things you need to do in this step here. One is to make sure you have enough cash saved up so that you can pay down the down payment. Now, in Canada, you can buy a home for under $500,000 with a 5% down payment. And if it's a bit more than $500,000, you can find the minimum down payments right here. Now, with that said, once you do have enough cash saved up for that down payment, the next thing you want to do is make sure that you get pre-approved. As when you're getting pre-approved, this will allow you to exactly understand what your budget is for purchasing that property that you're looking to purchase, but it will also allow you the ability to act quickly and show the seller that you're more committed to buying that property, which will increase your chances of actually securing that home that you found. As we're in a seller's market in the Greater Toronto area, and we historically have been in one. So that pre-approval is absolutely crucial to get before you go out and look for properties. Now, with that said, if you're looking for ways to increase your down payment or just get free money from the government incentive programs, if you're a first-time home buyer, make sure you keep watching to the end of this video here, as I'm going to be sharing some great resources for you to look into so that you can increase the amount of money you have available to you to purchase that home. And then the third step in the preparation stage is the buyer strategy session. And this is the call I was mentioning at the beginning of this video here, where you sit down with a real estate professional, you tell them all about your needs and wants and exactly what you're looking for, and get any one of your own personal questions answered. Then from there, they can go off and look for properties. Now, I always recommend you use a realtor when purchasing a home, as they're going to get access to more properties. This is their job that they do on a daily basis, so they can provide you with all their expertise and advice. And the best part is it's completely free for you to use, as their commission is paid through the seller. So there's absolutely no downside in you using a realtor to purchase your home. So that was the preparation stage. Now this next stage on the home buying process is the fun stage, and that is where you're going to go out and look for homes, or otherwise known as the home searching phase. And the very first step is the online search. So this is where your realtor will send you any active or new listings that pop up that match your criteria that you spoke about during the buyer strategy session. And as you see more properties, you'll start to learn exactly what's available on the market in your price range. And as you see more properties, you'll see things that you like and things that you didn't like. So it's important that you have an open communication between you and your realtor so you can tell them what your recent findings are, if maybe something you see in a listing that you absolutely love that you maybe not have thought of. Then from there, once you do get a few properties that you enjoy and truly do want to check out to look into purchasing, that moves us on to the second step in this phase here, which is the home showings. So here's where you and your realtor will find a good time for both of you to go and look at these properties. Now, I always recommend to my personal clients to let's go see between 3 and 7 properties, as it's all right if you go and see only one. However, I always recommend between 2 and 3 at minimum so that you can compare and contrast. Now, on the flip side, you don't want to see too many, as they'll really start to get jumbled together and you won't be able to get that compare and contrast as nicely. So then once you found a home that you think is a winner and are looking to put an offer in, the next thing I do for my clients, and I can't speak for all realtors, is provide you with more information around the surrounding areas. As at the end of the day, you want to make sure that surrounding area supports your desired lifestyle. So if the schools are important, I'll be providing you the schools, what parks there are, what are the recreational activities, or what are the shopping centers, or anything else that fits your desired lifestyle. And if you are serious about purchasing that property, the next thing I do for all my clients is create a video comparative market analysis. This is where I'll take that one property and see what other properties are similar to it in the area and what they've sold for, so that you can have a best idea of what the market dictates that property goes for, which then moves us on to the step 3 in this phase here, which is actually preparing an offer. So when you're going ahead to craft that winning offer, there's really 4 main battlegrounds or negotiation areas you need to think of. And the first one, and by far the most obvious one, is the purchase price. How much you're going to be paying in total for that home. Now, with our last step here in the comparative market analysis, that will give you an idea of what the market is willing to pay for it, so you have a good idea of what your purchase price should be. And the second battleground is the deposit, and this is typically a chunk of cash between 2 and 5% of the purchase price paid upfront within 24 hours of the seller accepting your offer. Now, this deposit shows that you have good faith in completing this transaction, and the higher the deposit, the more good faith it shows the seller that you have. So it's a great tactic for you to strengthen your offer. Now, if the transaction does go smoothly, this deposit will just be a part of your down payment. However, if the transaction does fall through for your own personal doing that wasn't outlined in the contract, you could possibly be on the hook for losing that deposit. So the third battleground you need to think about is what conditions you want to include in your offer. And the less conditions you have, the stronger your offer is going to be. Now, with that said, there's really 3 main types of conditions you might want to include. So the first one is, if you have not been pre-approved for some reason, the first one you would want to include is a financing condition, making sure that you have adequate funds enough to go ahead and purchase that property. The second one is a home inspection condition, which will allow a home inspector to go through, look at the property, and give you a detailed report of what type of condition that property is in. And the third condition is a legal review. Now, this is really seen in condominiums, as you'll want a lawyer to review that status certificate and making sure everything is in good working order there. Now, the fourth and final battleground you need to take in consideration is the possession date. Now, if you're in a seller's market, I highly encourage you to try to align that possession date as close as possible with what the seller is asking, as this is only going to increase your chances of your offer getting accepted. One final battleground you also want to take in consideration are what are the inclusions and exclusions of purchasing the property. So this is where you find out and you chat with your realtor of what the seller has put in as the inclusions. So these are typically any of the appliances, like is the fridge going to be included, the stove, the central air? What other things are going to be included when you're purchasing that property? Now, I personally don't consider it a major battleground, as typically when you're in a seller's market, you're just going to have to take what the seller includes and excludes a part of the deal, but it is worth mentioning as it is another area you can negotiate with the seller. So once you go ahead and sign and submit that offer to the seller, it moves us on to the third phase, which is the closing phase. Now, when you submit an offer, the seller really has three choices. They can, one, accept, they can reject, or they can counter. So if they go ahead and counter, it moves us on to our first step in this phase here, which is more negotiation. So this is where you and the seller will go back and forth negotiating, typically on one or more of the battlegrounds we have just chatted about, trying to get that offer accepted where both parties are happy. Once the offer gets accepted, we can move on to our second step in the final phase, which is closing the deal. This is where if you've included any conditions in your offer, you get them fulfilled. So you make sure you can get that mortgage or you get that home inspector in. Now, with that said, if you're unable to fulfill those conditions, you also have the opportunity to possibly waive those conditions. But before you go ahead and waive any conditions, make sure you and your realtor chat so that you're 100% sure that you're gonna go ahead and waive those conditions. And finally, the last thing that you'll be doing in this phase here is sending the contracts over to your lawyer to just get a legal review and make sure that the title is good. Then after all of that, the contract is legally binding and it moves us on to the third and final step of the complete home buying process, which is moving in and gaining possession. So this is the day you'll get keys to the property you've purchased, and it's a super exciting day. Now there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. The first being is you're not going to be able to move in right at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Typically, the keys change hands between 11 and 1 p.m. and there could possibly be slight delays as stuff does pop up. So make sure if you do have professional movers helping you, that maybe you book them to help you move in, let's say after 2 p.m. Now, the other thing you want to do once you get the keys is walk through the property, make sure there's no any sudden damages that possibly have popped up, and all the inclusions that you've included in the contract are still there. Other than that, just start moving yourself in and start making yourself feel at home in your brand new house. So congratulations, you have now finished the complete home buying process and you know exactly what you can expect from A to Z. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to smash the like button as it truly does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're interested in learning more about real estate, finance, or personal development, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to not miss out on any one of my future videos. And if you're a first-time home buyer looking for ways to increase the amount of money you have available to you to purchase your very first home, the next video I'd highly recommend you check out is covering the Canadian First-Time Home Buyer Incentive Program. You can find it right here, which will go over my top 4 programs the Canadian government offers to all first-time home buyers, and we'll be diving deep into the Canadian Home Buyer Incentive Program. So go check that out. And other than that, guys, I hope you have a great and successful week, and we'll chat with you next week.